right, 8:18 on the Good Morning Artesia radio show, and Mayor Ray Miller is with us here today as the countdown to your final meeting begins, because folks that don't know, Mayor Miller has chosen not to run for re-election, and so you're just kind of enjoying your time here as we wind down your term. But let's get into the meeting last night. I know there were a lot of things that folks came before the council, or issues that came before the council.
Yeah, we had a lot of different topics, and some of them were very nice. I mean, we had a request by Cub Scouts to actually come as part of their service project and be a part of our Pledge of Allegiance. So we had a Cub Scout troop that came, or it may have been two troops that came and actually led us in the pledge, and then the council and all of us gathered in the front of the area with the troops and took pictures. I suspect one of those may be in the Daily Press on Thursday this week. And, you know, I mean, it's great to see young kids, you know, get an exposure. They didn't stay for the whole meeting. Of course, we knew that they were coming, and so a lot of times we have snacks for people who attend the meetings as well as the counselors and stuff. And so I actually, we prepared bags of quart-size sandwich bags full of candy, Skittles, Hershey's, a variety of different candies, Sour Patch, and every one of them got a bag of candy. It was just like Halloween all over. So, you know, but anyway, we appreciated them coming, and they made the meeting, or the start of the meeting, a little different. Right after Councilor Rodriguez gave our invocation, we always do the pledge, but they made our pledge a little more of a highlight this meeting.
Good.
Of course, this was also Aubrey Hobson's, our city clerk's, last meeting. He retires at the end of this month, and it was a thing where, you know, Aubrey, well, he's actually running for city council, and he's running in Terry Hills district where he lives, and he has an opponent in Dickey Townley. And, you know, Aubrey and Dickey are both excellent candidates. I mean, whichever the folks choose in that district will be a good candidate. Obviously, Aubrey has huge experience inside the city and knows the budget and stuff in and out, but certainly Dickey is a very capable person, and he has, I think, retired from the refinery at this point to where he has the time to learn and serve and be a very new, strong counselor if the district chooses him. But Aubrey, I think, has been city clerk for 17 years. He's been in municipal government for 40 years, so I mean, he's made a career out of it. He came, I think, from Jowl to Artesia, and of course, I served on council like 12 or 14 years ago, but he was already our city clerk at that point, and he helped me as a new counselor try to learn and understand the budgeting and accounting process inside the city. Mayor Birch put me on budget and finance when he appointed me to the position, and I spent a year and a half trying to understand city accounting. Yeah. And it's been a thing where, as mayor, Aubrey spent 4 years in additional training to try to help me understand all of the ins and outs of the city budget. And it's a thing where I do appreciate Aubrey's service, and he certainly, at times, his demeanor and approach to people is a little gruff, and so not everybody likes Aubrey, but, you know, there are a lot of people that don't like Mayor Miller, so, you know, I mean.
I can't imagine that. But
anyway.
No, my dealings with Aubrey have all been above board and great, and if he does get a little Well, I recognize it because I'm kind of smart alecky too. So I recognize what's going on. And so I don't see it as an issue myself.
No, I mean, I've enjoyed working with him, and he's one of those department heads that does a great job. And obviously, under the city clerk, you have the library, the senior center, several things. They also handle the receipts for the water department there in their department. They do all the accounting for the city. I mean, it's a large task with a lot of things that can give you some gray hair over time as being a supervisor of all those areas. But anyway, no, it was a thing where it was his last meeting, and at the end, several of the counselors spoke and said very nice things, and well-deserved on his part. We had requests for city facilities from one of the girls softball teams of actually holding a camp. It was on our meeting, the meeting before, and there were several questions raised, and it was deferred at that time. I know the folks involved have met with the folks that, Raul Rodriguez, Councilor Rodriguez, kind of heads up the council's input into recreation. I know they've met with him. I think they got a bunch of discussion with the folks over at the Artesia Center, as well as with Councilor Rodriguez, and got things worked out. And so it came back up last night, and the council approved their camp that they're proposing to hold here at the, several weekends here at the end of January and also in February. And then last night we had 2 requests from the Artesia car enthusiasts, because historically before COVID, we've always had a car event each year in Artesia, and it's well attended. And I mean, there are a lot of folks that have some beautiful vintage cars and trucks here in Artesia, and displaying them together. And they're always don't look like mine, because mine's always got the grime on the side of it that I don't wash off. But these folks take immaculate care, both under the hood as well as on the outside of their vehicles. And it's really a nice event to actually see them displayed. And it's a good event in the city. But they've actually got their events scheduled tentatively for April 1st and 2nd. They asked for the ability to have a kickoff parade down Main Street on the 1st. They've requested use of the heritage area behind, but also they're actually requesting, and they'll have to get permission from the state and all, but they're looking at actually closing Main Street on the 2nd, that Saturday, for their event, and actually having it right in the downtown Main Street area.
Wow.
So it will be a little different, but like I say, they've done a great job in years past. It's well attended, and I know, my wife loves to come down and look at the cars. I mean, and, there are a lot of folks in our community that, not only are very proud of their, but they're also interested to see what everybody else has and remember. Of course, I'm old enough that I can remember older cars.
I know what that little silver thing is down the floor on the left-hand side for the driver. I know what that does.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of kids nowadays that have no clue that,
how to drive a stick shift or...
Well, they call that a millennial anti-theft device. Manual transmission.
Manual transmission. But anyway, they both Mr. Metz and Dorothy Hammond both showed up to answer any questions. But this type of event has been historically just excellent, and council approved both of their requests without questions. So
excellent.
Anyway, it was good. Probably the thing that is the most important, and I should probably mention it more than once, and maybe ask you to help remind folks during the week here. Chief Roberts, we did not have it on the agenda, but he's received information that the state has received test kits for COVID.
Okay.
And they have allocated all of these test kits to various parts of the state. And Artesia is actually looking at, or is scheduled to receive 2,000 of these test kits.
Okay.
And they're going to actually be given to folks for free.
Okay.
And what he has figured is probably the easiest way to handle something like that is because it's just a drive up. They're free test kits. You can actually get 2 kits per vehicle, and it'll be on February 9th, and they're going to do it out at J.C. Park, and it shows that it'll be from 1 to 3. But I figure it's the first 1,000 cars that show up.
Yep, that's right.
Because they're free, and each car can get 2 test kits, and each kit actually has 2 tests.
Okay.
And so each person or each vehicle that goes through the line, if they're in the first 1,000, would actually receive 2, or be eligible to receive 2 kits that would give them 4 at-home tests that they could use at no cost. And so it's being done through the state, and I think the Department of Health, it may be who is actually handing it out, but they've scheduled that for February 9th, J.C. Park at 1 p.m.
Okay.
So anyway, when it's free and it's something that you might be able to use if you have symptoms and would like to try to figure out if you or one of your kids has, actually got COVID, or if they just have, they still have real common colds.
Oh, yeah.
And occasionally people still get the flu, but it's not COVID.
It's not COVID, yeah.
Anyway, it's a thing where that'll be available to the public then.
Do you know anything about the tests? I mean, is it something that you take it and you know right then and there, or don't know anything about it?
I assume that since it's an at-home, it has to have some type of immediate result, type of thing.
Well, we'll find out more.
Yeah. And Chief Roberts would be the person to contact, because he made the presentation and it was not on our agenda, but basically council gave staff the direction to move forward with it because they didn't see it as an unreasonable request. And obviously J.C. Park has enough space out there that it shouldn't, it's like you probably wouldn't want to do it at some corner of 13th and Main and have a line of traffic.
No, not unless you're doing coffee or snacks.
That's right. But anyway, it's a thing where that's a good thing. I suspect we won't have any problem finding homes for all of those test kits.
Okay.
We had committee reports. Councilor Rodriguez, they did have a Recreation Commission meeting. They had updates there about the Aquatic Center and, all of the things that they're working on at this point to try to be sure that they're ready for a good summer season with the outdoor facilities there. Also updated some stuff on the rec center, and of course, I know how busy they are over there at night with all the little kids basketball at this point. And it's a thing where if I'm surprised I haven't seen more of the council candidates or mayoral candidates, because you can find most of the residents of Artesia in there, either watching their friends, their children, their grandchildren, their nieces and nephews. All the gyms are packed.
Well, you add that, and then the border conference basketball's been going on this week, and so that's got a lot of folks interested too. Yeah, but there was also some issues with how many folks could attend. I think they restricted some of the attendance there, allowing parents
and a few additional, but they didn't want to wind up having a mass gathering. So
Yeah.
I know my wife and I didn't go watch the granddaughter one night because we weren't sure. Well, we wanted to actually make sure that the parents had plenty of seats to get
Yeah.
the parents and
Well,
parents in.
Mr. Garcia called us, and we actually had a camera there Monday, and we're going to be there with the camera on Thursday at
Okay.
Park for the 8th grade game. So if you're not able to get in or go,
We can actually watch it on KSVP Live, and I've actually gotten to be smart enough to do that.
Well, good. Thank you.
Yeah, because, I actually watched the mayor's debate. I was just curious as to what the candidates would say, and I didn't want to show up and make it look like I was staring down the replacements, but I did watch and listen, and I appreciate the fact that you do those things, Gene.
We enjoy it. So, but yeah, as far as the park, the border conference tomorrow, the girls and the boys play 4:30 and 6, and Joby and Robbie are going to be there, and we'll have a camera there,
great.
and you watch them online.
That may actually be the best way instead.
We had I had more. Let's put it this way. I think up until about a day or so ago, we had more people watch that than watch the mayor's forum. If that tells you anything.
Well, and it's a thing where, I understand that, but I also would encourage folks because, we do have contested races
Absolutely.
in 3 of the 4 council districts, as well as we have 5 candidates running for mayor.
Yeah.
And I see all 5 of the candidates as being good candidates.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, there have been years where some of the folks that were running, you go, really?
Yeah.
But anyway.
Not this time.
Not this time.
Yeah.
And as a result, I would recommend that folks learn a little bit because, previously where I live was in Kent Bratcher and Jeff Yahtzee's district. Well, now I'm in Raul and Mariscal's district.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a thing where I won't be voting in the contested election
Right.
For that district. My council candidate is Raul, and I'm going to vote for him so that I make sure that he gets elected. Because I remember Hagerman had a problem where it was an uncontested election and the guy didn't even show up to vote for himself. And it's a problem if you get 0 votes, even if you're uncontested. So.
And I think they had a problem. I don't know whatever happened with it, but I think the Loving School Board had a problem with even getting somebody to say, I'll be on the school board. So, yeah, it is a little different to have this many folks do that. So, can we go ahead and take a break? If
Sure.
that's okay. All
That
right.
works.
Mayor Raye Miller is with us. We're recapping last night's city council meeting, and we'll be back with more in just a few minutes.